Hey, what's up everyone? Danny Lightning back with another War Robots video. So I'm going to make a new quick Titan guide, right? We're going to go over every Titan. I'm going to tell you whether or not I recommend it to the average person or not. I'll give you some strengths, some weaknesses, show you my favorite setup for each one and all that good stuff. So recently, new Titans have been added. And they've also nerfed and buffed a couple of the Titans. So that changes the old Titan guide. I had a more in-depth Titan guide, but things have changed. So we're making a new one, guys. Let's go ahead and start off with the kid, right? I'm going to tell you why I do not recommend the kid. There's a couple things I do like about him, but at the same time, just can't get into this guy. Kid has huge hit points, especially after you add in the plated armor kits, all right? Big ol' hit points, but the problem is his main weapon is on his back. It only comes out sometimes. He's got two low weapons that can't shoot over top of buildings, and those are the only two he has active at all times. So I don't like those parts about this guy at all. The good thing is the hit points are huge, and one of his abilities is really strong. He has an ability that brings out a ring of fire, and it'll just torch anything that's inside of it. It's very, very strong on the ability. So he's really durable. He's got a very strong ability, but personally, I don't think he's got good firepower most of the time. That's the reason I don't recommend this guy. For a weapon setup on him, I definitely say Vengeance and Retaliator is my favorite. For modules, I'm going to run two plated armor kits and an antimatter. I think that's the best setup for this robot in my opinion. So let's move on to the next one. Now we got the Arthur. They just recently buffed his shield, but they nerfed the hit points on his body. So his body's very squishy. His shield has almost 1.8 million hit points. That's huge. This guy's shield is crazy strong. Only problem is if somebody shoots you from the back or the sides, you're very vulnerable. If somebody shoots you with flamethrowers, they go right through the shield. If somebody shoots you with rockets, the splash damage goes through the shield and damages you. It's not hard to take out 400,000 hit points. So when this guy is maxed, his body's extremely squishy. His shield's extremely strong. He's got nice firepower, but he's very slow. Now, I used to say this is the best Titan for your average person. I'm not really sure if I can recommend this guy the way I used to. Arthur's still a really good Titan, but I think there's better options now. It's still a really good starter Titan, okay? This is a good starter Titan for your first Titan, but you're eventually going to want to replace him with something else, I think. So right now, my favorite setup for this guy is the Retaliator and the Vengeance. I've always loved these weapons on here. Modules, I would run two plated armor kits, one antimatter, and I think since they nerfed him, I'm going to run the other plated armor just to get another 20% health back. If you don't want to run three plated armors, run two of these and two antimatters, all right? But I do recommend Arthur in some ways, but he's not the best anymore. We got one of the brand new Titans, Muromitz. All right, he's pretty squishy. He's got 494,000 hit points maxed. He moves at a pretty nice rate of speed. This Titan is not going to be for everybody. This is one that I like to play occasionally just for something different. It's nice to have different Titans to have some variety, but this isn't something I would keep in my hangar constantly. I bring him in for 2 or 3 games and I usually change him out with something. So I've tried many sets of weapons on this guy, but I keep coming back to the Belova Kristen setup, what you see right here. The other setup I really liked was the Cataclysm Cyclones. That was a lot of fun on here, but I don't know. He's a cool robot. He flies up in the air. He goes into stealth. He's got a built-in rocket launcher that comes out and just rains missiles down on the enemies. I like this guy a lot. All right, this is one of those things that if it fits your playing style and you get the right weapons on it, I think you're going to have a really good time playing the Muromitz. So I do recommend this guy, but I don't think he's for everybody, okay? For modules, I would either run 2 cannibal reactors and 2 antimatter reactors, or 2 cannibals and 2 stealth fix. All right, if you notice you're taking a lot of damage and you need some healing, maybe the self-fix units, because this is one of those robots where you hide. You don't go in and you don't brawl with this guy. You stay behind cover till his ability's ready. You try to stay away from other enemies. Then you go up in the air when his ability is ready and you strike. And then you come back down and you hide. That's why I like the self-fix units. When you're not in the battle, these things can really help repair any damage you've taken. So the self-fixes are really nice. Man, 4 antimatters, 4 cannibals, or a setup like this is really cool. It's hard to say exactly what the best module setup for this guy is, because it's so situational. There's so many things that work good on this guy, but yeah, very cool deal overall, but not for everybody. Next, we have the Sharanga. Sharanga is one of those titans where, man, it can be awesome or it can get its butt kicked. He's kind of squishy, he's really easy to kill, but he's got amazing firepower. Now, if you've got some healers on your team, like if you're playing with a squad with your teammates and you can get a couple of your teammates to agree to run with you when you drop your Sharanga, if you can get another Nodens or maybe some Demeters out here to heal you up as you play, this guy is just going to run through and he's going to smash everything, all right? He's going to smash everything. So I would put either 3 strikers or 3 cyclones on this guy. Those are my favorite. Or if you really want to do the up close damage, 3 of the Grom shotguns are nuts at close range. So it really depends on how you want to play this guy. So long distance sniper is cool. All right, the 3 Groms for the up close crazy damage is cool. And the cyclones, just for an all around good brawling set of weapons, is really cool. Modules, I run 2 antimatters and 2 cannibals. Some people run all 4 antimatters. Some people run all 4 cannibals. And some people will even put maybe 1 armor kit down here. But personally, I like to have 2 and 2. This is my favorite setup for this guy. This is one of those titans where if you get it, I think it's definitely worth upgrading. All right. Definitely upgrade this if you can. It's a really cool titan. Just remember, it's not easy to keep alive, so you either need to have a healer on your team to help you along, or you need to play him very carefully to make sure he's always, not vulnerable, not out in the open. A lot of people see a Sharanga on the other team, they're like, oh crap, we got to kill that, and they will focus you. The other team will try to take you down the best they can just to get this thing off the field, because they know its firepower is crazy and it'll sit there and wipe stuff out. So it's not necessarily an easy titan to play, but it's a very good titan. If you have one, I definitely suggest leveling it up. All right, it's got one ability where you hit it, it does 50% more damage for a few seconds, and the other ability turns the other robot red and puts them in a phase shift like state. It slows the enemy down. The enemy can't damage you, or you can't damage the enemy. The problem is a lot of people misuse that. Somebody on your team is ready to get a kill. That robot's down to the littlest teeny sliver of health. One more shot, it would have been dead. And somebody in a Sharanga hits it with that ability. It turns red. Nobody can kill it now. Next thing you know, right before that ability ends, a Demeter comes in, heals that thing up as soon as that red button thing ends. Next thing you know, they kill your teammates instead of you getting the kill. So people are misusing the Sharanga's ability all the time, and it can really screw up your teammates if you don't use it right. So if you're on a squad, it's almost better to ask people, hey, should I red button this before you do it? Because you might really have some angry teammates if you keep turning things red and making so they can't get those kills. All right. This can really help or hurt your team depending on how you use that red button ability. Very cool Titan though, very powerful, but very squishy. Next, we have the Nodens, which is just an all-around amazing Titan. This is my main recommendation. Everybody should have a Nodens. He's got good firepower. He heals your teammates. He suppresses the enemies. I don't know what's not to like about this guy. My favorite setup is definitely 4 Cyclones. I love these weapons on here. I like to run 2 plated armor kits and 2 antimatters. Now, if you notice, hey, I don't feel like I have enough health, you can always run 1 more plated armor instead of this last antimatter, but I prefer to run 2 and 2 on this. But this is just such a overall good Titan. It's not even funny how much this helps your teammates. You can just sit there and just heal people like crazy. Remember, healing turns into honor points, which turns into extra silver. So having a Nodens in your hangar can really help you earn a lot of extra silver just from that healing. And this guy will heal your teammates up like crazy. But right now, I think this is currently the best Titan in the game for your average person. Alright? Most of these Titans though, you do have to level them up to a pretty decent level. Like when you get a Nodens and he's at level 1, he might not be that great, alright? But once you level these guys up, get some platinum into these dudes and get their levels up, they start performing great. Pretty much any Titan in here except for maybe the Kid can perform really well. I mean, the Kid is really hard to take out, but he's just got too many disadvantages. But right here, Nodens, this is the way to go if you can get one, guys. This is the way to go if you can get one, for sure. I believe this guy's healing ability goes, it's either 700 meters or 800 meters. They just buffed it and made it a little longer. It was 600. I think they moved it up to 700. And anything that's 600 meters or closer to you, you can also suppress that to make so it can't really do too much damage to your teammates. So this is just a really good robot. I don't suggest trying to brawl with him. I kind of stay behind cover, pop out and shoot, stay behind cover, pop out and shoot, heal, suppress, heal, suppress, heal, suppress type of deal. And if anybody gets really close to you, these cyclones will melt them. It's just not really made to brawl anymore. They recently nerfed his speed and I think his hit points a little bit, but he's still a really good Titan. Definitely my favorite out of all of them. Next, we have the Ox Minos. All right, same thing as the regular Minos. This is just a special edition version. I like to run the shotguns on them. I like to run 2 self-fix and 2 antimatter reactors. Now, this is kind of a skill bot. It's not easy to play, but it's so much fun. It's probably the funnest Titan out of everything in the game. But if you're one of those players where you're like, I'm really good at this game, I really know how to time like when to run in, when not to run in. I mean, if you're a skilled player, you're probably going to love the Minos. If you're not really that good at the game and you notice I always run in and I die, I don't really time my attacks correctly, this might not be for you because he relies on timing. This is definitely a skill bot. You got to know when to go in for the attack, and you got to make sure you're always using cover with this guy. It's a very skillful, tactical type of gameplay to do well with the Minos, but he is the most fun out of all the robots. So basically, he's got a shield. When you max him out, his shield absorbs 80% of the damage, which means you take 80% less damage, and 50% of that damage goes back to the guy that's shooting you and damages that guy. So basically, to play this guy, you turn on your shield, you charge in, you bust up the enemies. Then you need to make sure you get back to cover before your ability wears out. And when you charge, you got a blast wave that's constantly just like bam, 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 damaging anything in your path as you're charging at high speeds into a group of enemies or at a single enemy. But you just got to learn to play this guy to use cover. Always have an escape plan, all right? When you charge in, if you notice, oh, there's more than one enemy here, or I don't think I'm going to be able to kill all these guys before my ability's over, always have some sort of escape plan to get back to some sort of cover where they can't hit you, because if you just charge in, you get 1 or 2 kills and there's still 2 or 3 guys over there. After your ability ends, they're probably just going to womp you and take you out. So I definitely recommend this robot to pretty much anybody who is kind of a skilled player or wants to take the time to learn the skills. All right, not everybody's going to have a good time with this guy, but anybody who can really figure out how to play him is going to love it. Now finally, we have the Ming, which is a really cool robot. I don't really recommend this for your average person, but some people are going to love this guy, some people are going to hate this guy. Again, he's really squishy, 400,000 hit points, and he's up in the air, so he's an easy target to hit. My advice is to get 4 of these weapons right here. They have a 600 meter range and they do great damage from 600 meters. Also, like the Cyclone and the Cataclysm are also really good weapons to put on here, but these are my go-to weapons on the Ming. He's got one ability that heals him, so when you go up in the air, wait till you start taking damage to use that healing, okay? That'll help keep you alive in the air, and then after that's over, you want to make sure you land until that healing is ready again, because this guy loses all his defense points and whatnot when he goes up in the air, so he's a lot more squishy in the air. And you always want to stay back 600 meters with this guy. Don't let anybody get close to you or they will torch you. Hawks will destroy you in this robot. So you want to kind of be really attentive and pay attention to whether or not there's hawks out on the field. If there are, make sure you've always got cover. If you can land, if the hawk goes up and starts shooting you, make sure you can land back behind cover where that hawk can't shoot you, because the hawks will destroy you quick in this thing. That's this robot's main downfall, is hawks will eat it alive. So my thing is, put a 600 meter set of weapons on it. Always try to stay past 600 meters until your weapons are reloaded. Then you want to come in, don't get any closer than you have to. Get it like 600 meters, 500 and 590, just close enough to hit the people. When you're done shooting, get back past 600 so they can't get you. That's the best way to play this guy. Definitely takes some skill to play the Ming properly, just because he's so squishy and all that good stuff. So he's a really cool robot overall. Some people are going to love him, some people are going to hate him. I don't necessarily recommend this guy to your average player. It's one of those guys where you're not really going to know if you get to like it unless you play it and get some time on it. I used to hate this robot at first, but it's really grown on me lately. Such a fun robot to play, but definitely not one of the best for everybody. Now, if you can get this thing and you can do well with it and get a set of these weapons, I like to run 2 antimatters, a plated armor, and a Titan accelerator. That's my favorite module setup on this guy. And if you can get good with this, you will wreck people with it, but also it's just so darn squishy. You gotta be very careful with it, okay? You're either gonna love it or hate it, type of deal. Anyways, I think that pretty much wraps this up, and we will catch you later, alright? That's my Titan guide. Hope it helped. Hope this helps decide which Titans you might want to get and all that good stuff. I think we went over all of those Titans, and yeah, that pretty much wraps this one up, guys. You all have an amazing day. Lightning out.